So the time has come for you to take on Edeon Ruins Adventure Mode. I knew you'd be here soon enough. Here's a raid guide that I've put together to make your lives easier so that you can finally attain that sweet loot. This raid guide will be in a two-part series. In part 1, I will be walking you through the first boss, Arbat Columbus, and in part 2, I will be walking you through the second and final boss, Adlam Bruno. The link for the second video will be in the description. Please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell for instant updates, which will inform you as soon as I release more content coming in the very near future. Good day. For Arbat Columbus, have everyone including the range DPS stack right on top of the boss's backside, while the tank faces him away from the raid so that the raid doesn't take any damage from the boss's occasional cleave. The reason for this is threefold. Number 1, a stacked raid can more reliably benefit from AoE heals and damage buffs from classes like Bards, Archons, and Lightbringers. Number 2, certain mechanics can be entirely avoided through the use of defensive cooldowns, Lightbringer ultimates in specific. And number 3, there's a phase where the boss summons adds, and they're more easily managed if everyone is stacked. Let's get started. Devastating Slam is a cleave ability that will damage everyone in a cone-shaped area in front of the boss. Again, ensure that the boss is tanked facing away from the raid to avoid unnecessary damage. If you are a class that has a leap ability, you can entirely mitigate the damage if you use it as this ability is coming out. The boss will also cast an ability called Warcry, which is an AoE ability, and it is completely unavoidable. The boss will knock back everyone around him and deal about 70% damage, give or take, to everyone in the raid when the cast is completed. Have the healers ensure that they have everyone topped off before this ability comes out so that everyone will survive. If you find that your healers are having a hard time catching everyone up after the slam, you can make it easier on them by using an HP potion in midair on your way down. The boss will do another ability where he jumps in the air, and as soon as you see him go up into the air, simply move out of the way, because when he lands he will send 5 swords spinning in a star-like pattern emanating out from the center. This ability comes out incredibly slow, so just take your time and make sure that you are not in one of the projected paths for these swords. The boss will also at certain points cast an ability called 100 Cuts. Simply move out of the way either by walking through him, stepping to the side, or by using your flash ability that I clearly have active here. This ability comes out very quickly, so don't take your time, make sure that you get out immediately. The boss will channel an ability 2 times during this fight where pillars will spawn, and you will be prompted to hide behind the stone pillars. Honestly, this attack does not do a lot of damage to the raid, so the best way to deal with this and not lose DPS is to just stay stacked on the boss. I would have Lightbringers rotate their ultimate abilities to keep the raid alive, and also during this time, make sure that if you have any Bards or Archons in the raid, have them use their AoE healing abilities to keep the raid both alive and buffed so they can maximize damage during this time. There will also be portions of the fight where these big solar flares will spawn. It's okay for you to take damage from one of them as you will survive, but if you take 2 or more, you will certainly die, so just avoid these entirely if possible, but if you have to take one, that's okay. As soon as the boss hits 60% HP, the boss will spawn adds called Possessed Blades that will be spawned at certain intervals for the remainder of the fight. The idea is to bring these adds to the boss so that they can be cleaved down quickly by the raid. So again, this is another reason why having the raid stacked is a wise thing to do. Having the raid stacked behind the boss will certainly help your tanks to bring these adds to the boss each time they are spawned without much difficulty. When these adds die, they spawn a blue puddle on the ground that damages you if you stand in it. A good way to manage this and prevent damage would be to have your off tanks continually check the HP of the adds so that the raid can be prepared to shift as soon as the adds die. Later into the fight, the boss will place what is called Blade of Shadow on 2 people. Now, this ability is essentially a living bomb, but in line form rather than AoE form. Have the affected raid members move out of the raid so that the line is not overlapping onto any of the raid members. As soon as the boss hits 30% HP, this incredibly large Aeon type creature in the form of the boss begins to just wreak havoc on the raid. This is just like the mechanic in the Ragnaros Lateros fight. Stand near the edge of the slam zone and move into the next area as soon as you see the ability come out. Also, the Shadow Curse, which gives you the line-like living bomb, will now affect more people than just the original 2 that it did in the beginning of the fight. Simply, again, have them leave as soon as possible to avoid any raid-wide damage. During this phase, the raid will also at certain points be afflicted with a massive raid-wide curse. You will know that this curse is active and applied to you when you have this purple aura at the bottom of your screen. This needs to be cleansed immediately or the raid will wipe. This again is another reason why being stacked up is a wise decision. Your healers will know immediately when this raid-wide curse is out because everyone will have a purple icon above their character's HP bar. The key to success here is to not worry about anyone else but yourself. Know the mechanics of the fight and perform your role if you are implicated in any way. And now that you have seen the mechanics, here is the fight from beginning to end for your convenience. Please like the video and share if it was helpful. Enjoy your day.
Radio uplink available.
What you're telling me isn't possible. Tell me who just materialized in front of my eyes. Tell me who I just ejected into space.
You ejected your clone. Perhaps your clone ejected you. Does it really matter? You're still yourself. Copies of copies of copies.